Hi, everyone. Welcome to Soundhouse Theory. This is a new channel that I will be starting. I'm making this space for movie lovers and movie score lovers as well. I will be sharing on this channel some of my most beloved movies and some of my most beloved film scores. And if you are into this type of discussion, then I hope that you will find the information entertaining and engaging. Also, I will discuss why I love those movies and why I love listening to those soundtracks. And hopefully, if you've never seen those movies or never listened to those soundtracks, then I will give you something to check out, and hopefully you like it. Today, I want to discuss about Avatar: Fire and Ash. There's only a handful of movies in my experience that have actually touched me at an emotional depth. And Avatar, the series, is one of those movies. Avatar, since it came out, actually even changed my perspective on how movies are made. Watching Avatar, the first one when it came out from a teenager, made me realize that I have a curated taste, and it made me want to seek out other types of cinema that made me feel that way, that hit that emotional depth that I was looking for. And I went back, all the way back to the 40s up till now, creating a list that I liked of movies that gave me that feeling. I just saw the film Avatar: Fire and Ash yesterday, and I have to say, what a magnificent piece of art that James Cameron has produced. And his directing style and his creativity is definitely one to be recognized. Now, Avatar does more to me than just have an engaging story and impressive visuals. I believe that Avatar helps people see, if they pay attention, that there is more to life than the technology that drives us. There's a simpler, more grounded lifestyle that even a lot of us today in modern times are seeking. And it brings us back to that basic natural need to have that organic tribal connection that we used to have. Avatar, the reason I really love it, being one who loves nature, really expounds on this element. It takes us to a place, but it also reminds us of the beautiful planet that we live on and all of the beautiful animals on it, and the respect that we should be giving it as well. That unfortunately in modern times we sort of lost that connection that we once had, and we tend to ignore it now more than ever. In Avatar, the character Jake Sully, he had a mission, right? And he was to infiltrate, he was a soldier, he was doing good for humanity. And he realized what he was about to give up, what he was about to destroy. And he fell in love with his surroundings. He fell in love with this woman. He fell in love with the woman's people. And he came to a conclusion that what he was doing was not worth giving up all of that, and he fought for it. I like how that character grew and even struggled with his own original type of traits, being a Marine, and how he grew in trying to balance that Marine type of personality with raising a family. Avatar teaches people to value family, to value community, and to value this tribe, right? it also teaches you that you can dive into another culture, that you can change your perspective on what you thought was right or what you thought was normal. And that's what Jake Sully, the character, is to me, someone who saw this beautiful world and how deep it goes and realized this is where I want to live for the rest of my life. There are many great films, and there are a handful, like I said in the beginning, of masterpieces. And I believe Avatar is a masterpiece. Whether you're a fan of the genre or not, recognizing the work and the talent that is a part of Avatar is an incredible feat. Avatar speaks to humanity and brings them back from the synthetic world that we're so used to, and brings them more into this sort of biological ecosystem that is to be respected and that is to be loved, to be cherished. And long after the visuals fade, the movie stays with you so long because of that connection. James Cameron always leaves these little mysteries unsolved until the next film. And that could be the dynamic between Spider and his father, Jake trying to protect his family but also trying to fight back, Neytiri struggling with her prejudices against the human race and the trauma that the human race has caused her in her life, and Kiri and her mysterious connection to Awa and the planet. And they always, James Cameron always leaves these little loopholes so that the audience can go home and think about it and guess what will happen next. I believe that before we dive in and appreciate Simon Franglen's magnificent score, we need to pay homage to James Horner. James Horner, in my opinion, being one of the most recognizable and talented composers of this generation, being so versatile, doing movies such as Bicentennial Man, Legend of the Falls, Braveheart, doing all those movies and then going to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is extremely difficult, and I have to say he has an extremely powerful imagination to write all of that for all of those movies and to sound completely different from the other. And James Horner always made you feel that emotional weight no matter what movie he composed for. And that's one of the reasons that he is one of my favorite composers. I believe that's why his work in Avatar feels so intentional and so deep, is because James Horner was not writing a score for just another sci-fi novel, but he was writing a score for a culture, for a people. And you can feel that in the music, and the music sort of hugs you and brings you in to the Na'vi culture and makes you feel a part of it, makes you want to be a part of it. And I feel because of that, Pandora doesn't just look real because of the visuals, but it feels real because of the music that James Horner established. James Horner makes you feel that music should be discovered, especially when doing a long series such as Avatar. And when listening to the first Avatar score, you can feel a sense of wonder and discovery, and then also danger on the horizon. And Simon Franglen sort of keeps his legacy through the second and third films. because so much was put into the thought of the score, and just in movies in general, a lot is put into the thought of it. But for James Horner, I believe specifically, so much was put into Avatar, working on it for years, and Simon Franglen working beside him for years for that score. Avatar feels so organic, and a lot of movies don't feel organic anymore like they used to. But Avatar feels very organic, and that sense of nature and a natural lifestyle sort of pulls you in and makes you question your own life in a lot of ways and say, you know what, maybe my circumstances can change where I can live a more natural lifestyle. Because that score feels so intentional, that's what gives Avatar its musical DNA. Because that score feels so biologically harmonious, with the Na'vi, the people defending their home, the humans trying to destroy it. All of those sequences are perfectly captured within the score, and it makes you feel like it gives the movie its particular DNA, and you can tell right away that I am watching or I am listening to Avatar. Simon Franglen didn't replace James Horner, but Simon Franglen continued this musical DNA through the second and third films. He is a wonderful composer, and he's really good at establishing that elemental feel, whether you're in the water, whether you're in danger, and whatnot. James Horner, like I said, established a sense of discovery and danger on the horizon, and Simon Franglen continued that score with consequence and the feeling of anxiousness, but the result of those consequences and anguish through the second and third films. The melodies still soar, they still carry weight, but there's more tension and there's a lot more danger. And I believe you will enjoy listening to Simon Franglen's score of Fire and Ash. You will be on the edge of your seat, and it will bring you to tears with those dramatic trumpets, the chorus of the Na'vi, the deep cellos, and the violins playing all types of different types of scales and riffs. I believe you will thoroughly enjoy Simon Franglen's score, and while you're watching the movie, pay attention to the music. Pay attention to when the music rises, when they elevate the volume of the music during certain sequences, and I promise you, it will pull you into the movie even more. I believe Simon Franglen working so close with James Horner helps a lot, but Simon Franglen obviously paid attention and respected James Horner a lot and his artmanship, because he carries on that legacy perfectly, and we can always remember James Horner's stamp on Avatar. And I believe if James Horner was alive today and heard the music, he would give a stamp of approval to Simon Franglen in more ways than one. Simon Franglen has done such a glorious job in creating Avatar Fire and Ash, and I am going to see the movie again next weekend because it was magnificent. It was thoroughly enjoyable. It was not too long. It felt too short to me because of just how many things were happening, and the situations the characters were in were just so dangerous. It felt like you didn't know what James Cameron was actually going to do in this one. The soul of Avatar is still there, that Simon Franglen put in in Fire and Ash. It's still there from the first one. It's just grown from the first one, and it should grow because it's a continuation of the story, and Simon Franglen has done a beautiful job in doing that. So to wrap up, Simon Franglen, please check it out. Listen to Avatar Fire and Ash and tell me what you think of the soundtrack in the comments below. Tell me what you think about the movie, if you like the movie. And I will see you guys in the next video discussing another movie that has great storylines, has great build-up, great settings, great characters, and also another score that equals that movie from another great composer. Thank you for joining me. Have a good night.